You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Hello, Nigel here. As an owl, I love to be awake all night, but allergy sufferers like you probably don't feel the same. So take Xyzal at night to relieve allergies while you sleep. Then wake up fully refreshed for a more productive day. Xyzal works fast and offers 24-hour continuous relief from sneezing, runny nose, itchy watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat, so you can enjoy doing the things you love all day long. Be wise all. Take Xyzal at night. Use as directed. Starts working in 45 minutes.
Hi, this is Katy.
And this is Nathan.
And you're listening to Queen's Podcast, the show about women in history. Oh, Nathan, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?
Don't have enough money.
Nathan, won't you draw me a picture of
a Mercedes Benz? I love it.
Is this season 8 or is this season 9?
I think it's season 9.
Do we just stop counting now?
We've been here a while.
We've been around.
That's what my ex would say.
Oh, sex joke. And we're back.
Yep. Katy, what have you been up to?
This summer, I took a break. Usually,
Good.
like in our break, I still do a lot of stuff. I really tried to detach this summer so that I would come back well rested, and I think I've done that pretty well.
Well, I don't want to be rude, but it looks like you've done that very well. You look very well rested. You look very gorgeous. That's not to say that you look like shit before.
You're like the end of last season. Whoa, buddy.
Yeah,
you were doing camera off.
I went out to the lake yesterday, and yeah, it was Splash, which is a gay little festival that happens out at Hippie Hollow, and yes, might be a hippie, and it was glorious. So got that nice tan, looking gorge, feeling even more gorgeous.
Because we're recording this on Labor Day, and so yesterday my husband and I were looking on this website called Do 512, just stuff to do around Austin, trying to find something low-key to get into. And there was a pool party downtown called Labor Gay. Labor Gay. We didn't go, but we have been saying it ever since. Anyway. So I don't know how to transition that to Janet.
No easy way to segue to our Patreon shout-out.
Shout-outs. So we have some new Patreon supporters that we'd like to shout out. First, we've got Caitlin, Sarah Beth, Hannah, Victoria, and Katy.
And I'd love Sarah Beth to know that Katy wrote out your name and said Sarah Beth.
Sarah Beth. And so
also shout outs not only to Sarah Beth, but Tiffany, Joyce, Shelley, and the duo of Jessica and Jessica.
We got 2 Jessicas.
Love it. And Bryn and Nancy.
Yes, so thank you to our Patreon supporters at all levels.
And
old
even
and
just
new.
people that listen to us.
And thank you for putting up with our asses all these years. Yeah.
Right?
But today, Nathan, who are we talking about?
Oh, Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Yep, that's right.
Yes, we are
so
talking
we
about
had
Janis
Joplin. So today, for our drink, I decided to make a wild child because I felt like that was appropriate.
That's
for
appropriate,
our girl.
yes.
So I took 2 ounces of Southern Comfort.
She loves SoCo.
Yep, and then I took about a half an ounce of peach liqueur and then mixed it with some wild berry juice and some pineapple juice. It may not be pretty, but it's tasty as fuck.
But it's got personality, and you know what? That's probably something a lot of people said about Janis. So let's get into it. I'm actually not drinking today, so I can't give an opinion on it. How is that cocktail?
It is smooth, dangerous, tasty. Love it. It's gorgeous.
All right, that drink looks lovely. I hope everyone enjoys that, and let's get into her story.
Yeah, so Janis was born, Janis Lynn Joplin on January 19th, 1943 in Port Arthur, Texas. And before we dive into Port Arthur, You're
not going to do the accent the whole time, are you?
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's look at her astrology. This makes her a Capricorn sun, Cancer moon, may come in important later, and an Aquarius ascending.
Moon.
Yeah, and who needs to sing the blues? A Cancer moon.
Yep. Have you ever heard of Port Arthur, Texas before?
Maybe.
So the reason we're laughing about this is the two of us grew up in a town called Groves, Texas. There is a highway that runs down called Twin City, and one side of Twin City is Groves and the other side is Port Arthur. Like there's parts of Groves or Port Arthur where I'm like, I'm not actually sure which town this is. Like they're very, very close to each other. So when we say our hometown, I mean, kind of, but like literally every single person in my family besides me, because I was born in the military overseas, every single person in my family was born in Port Arthur. Were you born in Port Arthur?
I wish you could have done a hair flip because I was born overseas. Yes, I was born in Port Arthur. My dad actually helped run the hospital that we both all were born at.
And I think it would be safe to say where we grew up, the spirit of Janis Joplin looms large.
Oh, yes. Every single time you go to a karaoke bar, there's a drunk woman singing Me and My Bobby McGee.
Every single time. There's a Joplin Street. I think there's a couple of Joplin Streets in Southeast Texas. Her Porsche is in the Museum of the Gulf Coast. There's a plaque in front of like where the house she grew up in used to be.
Legendary.
She's a big fucking deal. Yeah.
So what we're getting at is that she was a big figure in our formative years. Literally, it was like, my dad, I think at one point was like, yeah, I went to school with her brother. And it's like, oh, you're 1 degree away from Janis Joplin.
Her and my grandmother were born in the same year and went to the same school. But Janis was born in January and my grandma was born in December of that year. So I think they were not in the same grade. But funny thing, me and my cousins were all talking about the different Janis Joplin stories our grandmother had told us. Turns out they were all made up.
Like a true Southern Texan.
My grandmother is no longer with us. Yeah, we were all the cousins were telling our moms like, "Oh, grandma told me this about Janis," and then like my mom had to be like, "Girls, she did not know Janis Joplin. They weren't in the same grade. They weren't in any classes together. She just liked to tell y'all stories. So
Grandma lied to you.
Made up stories about Janis Joplin so y'all would think she was cool.
And that being said, back to her biography. So Janis was born in 1943 to working class parents Dorothy and Seth Joplin. She was the oldest kid with 2 younger siblings, Laura and Michael.
From a really young age, Janis was really into performing and especially singing. Her mom sang in the choir for the church they were in, and so it's no surprise that little baby Janis joined the choir as a kid. But it was pretty clear from early on that she was going to outgrow the church choir.
That is an understatement.
Right.
Also, from an early age, her mother realized that Janis was a little bit different. She's noted that even as a little kid, Janis needed more attention than other kids. Her mom said she was, quote unquote, unhappy and unsatisfied without receiving a lot of attention. The normal report wasn't adequate.
Wasn't adequate. So, I mean, I couldn't find anything further than that. So what do we think that means? Like just constantly needs reassurance? Or does that mean that like she acted out to get attention or was just super needy?
I think it was probably both.
Both, yeah.
Now, it's important to note that the vibes in Southeast Texas at the time are pre-civil rights era. She would have been raised in an environment that was strictly white Christian and real conservative. But despite that, Seth and Dorothy encouraged Janis when she started to show an interest in the arts that she was really into painting.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they were like, okay, well, she's painting and she's not complaining.
When she's painting, she's not up my ass 24/7.
So let's get her some more paints.
Let's buy it. Let the girl paint. Her early childhood, there's just not much to talk about. But it seems by the time she got into high school in like the mid 50s, it was becoming clear that she did not fit in. She was seriously did not fit in. And I mean, who amongst us doesn't have an awkward phase?
So right here.
Oh, we all had an awkward phase, but it seems like Janis's was prolonged and really tough for her. She had really bad acne that she had to have like surgery for. The kids were fucking awful to her. Like they were just fucking dicks to her about it.
kids are assholes.
Kids are assholes.
Children are assholes.
Sorry if there's any children listening. You shouldn't be.
They called her freak. They called her pig. They would throw pennies at her.
I remember like kids teasing kids. I don't remember throwing pennies. Like, is that supposed to be like just the only weapons they had access to? Or is it like, you poor bitch, get some different clothes? Like, I didn't get
Probably all of it.
Yeah.
Everything you just said. Kids are dicks.
And they also liked to call her a slur that we're not going to say, the N-word. They call her the N-word lover.
And so what? So what?
Because somewhere in between singing in the choir as a kid and high school, she had discovered old blues records. That shit was her jam. And, that's primarily the old blues singers were Black. And so she got a little bit into being interested in Black culture.
And now there was certainly an audience for the blues in the 1950s South, but it wasn't popular music amongst her peers.
Yeah.
But probably through art class, she started hanging out with what her parents would call misfits. They dressed like beatniks. And every day after school, she'd go home and put on her blues records and hear the jams.
And because a lot of the artists she listened to were from like before she was born, a lot of these musicians she liked were putting things out in like the 1920s, 1930s. A lot of those artists are now in the public domain. So I think it would be fun, Nathan, to play just a little snippet of some. So this one is a quick snippet from a song by Ma Rainey.
Oh, didn't they have a TV show? Like
there was a movie.
Show.
There was a movie. Chadwick, Black Panther. It was like his last movie to do or something like that. So here is a clip from Ma Rainey, who was often called the mother of blues. And here, I want to play a quick snippet of Bessie Smith, who is called the Empress of the Blues.
Open up your heart, let me in your heart, I'm pleading. No one else will do, 'cause it's only you, my babe, you hold.
Those clips are not like the best quality because it's like from old records, but I can so picture her rushing home after school to listen to these records.
There's something about an old record when you put it on and it has that weird scratchy sound to it. It's just gorgeous. But I mean, it's her influence, right? That's what influenced her. So in 1957, when the top song in the country was Elvis Presley's All Shook Up, Janis and her friends are hunting down 30-year-old blues records. Yes. And reading those beatnik magazines, and she's just really leaning into this counterculture vibe.
I put over here on this side of the notes, I think it's funny that all these white kids didn't realize they were listening to Black music because Elvis was just like straight up ripping off Black artists.
Yep. They had no idea that you are listening to Black culture. Yep. Too late.
Oh, Elvis Presley out there stealing from Black people and having sex with underage girls. What a guy. Anyway. So Janis knows she's not everybody's cup of tea here in her hometown. But she's like, fuck it. They already think I'm weird. I'm never going to fit in. So I'm just going to do my own damn thing. In high school, she got in trouble for like questioning why the bathrooms were segregated by race. Like it was just like, oh, this chick again is going to be complaining about the segregated bathrooms. And according to Janis's biographer, Holly George Warren, Janis was the only one in her class to attend an assembly about desegregating the schools, and she was the only one from their class that attended, being like, we shouldn't have segregated bathrooms. So, little miss before her time.
Get it, Janis. Janis graduated high school in 1960 and spent a little time at our alma mater, Lamar University. You have to say it with that accent or else it doesn't mean anything.
Yes. Lamar, please quit emailing me asking me for money. I'm not giving you any more money. We're done.
Nope.
We're done.
And you know what? After she left Lamar University, she moved to Austin, Texas to attend the University of Texas, which...
She's following us. By the time she got to college, Janis already played the guitar and was starting to write songs. And she performed in a band with other UT students called the Waller Creek Boys.
Oh, sounds like my kind of man.
Yes. So Janis wasn't the singer in the Waller Creek Boys. She played the auto harp, which I had to Google, and I put like a link here if you want to.
I just Googled it.
Yeah. There's pictures of her playing this with this band, and their little band got enough attention that Janis got a write-up in the University of Texas and UT's campus magazine called the Daily Texan. And the article was titled, "She Dares to Be Different."
Oh.
Nathan, could you read this excerpt from the write-up on Janis?
She goes barefooted when she feels like it, wears Levi's to class because they're more comfortable, and carries her auto harp with her everywhere she goes, so that in case she gets the urge to break out into song. Her name is Janis Joplin, and she looks like the type of a girl a square would call a beatnik.
Okay, so let's think about this for a second. Because remember how growing up, Janis as a child, she just needed attention, like to survive. Like she's like fucking Tinkerbell, clap or she'll die. But then she went her whole life hiding to not get ridiculed by her peers. So when someone is like asking to do a write-up about her because she's just so different and like one of a kind, she must have felt really good about herself. That must have been really exciting.
But you remember how kids are assholes?
Shit.
Yeah, so they're in college now.
And they're still assholes.
And still assholes. And in response to this article, one of the UT frats voted Janis ugliest man on campus, which I remember this story. My dad was like, oh, she was pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all, we wish we could tell you that this just rolled off of Janis's back like water, but she was mortified. I would have been mortified, and she really let it affect her mentally, which fucking sucks because she was just starting to find herself and just getting comfortable in her own skin.
And that was the end of Janis Joplin's collegiate career for a while. She dropped out of school the next week, and I hate that. But I mean, that's so shitty. Why are men?
Just leave it there.
Leave it there. Why are men? She would later say her peers laughed her out of Texas because she packed up her shit and headed west like the next week. And she hitchhiked all the way from Austin, Texas to San Francisco in 1963.
If you are going to San Francisco.
She arrived in San Francisco right around the time of her 20th birthday.
Okay, so picture it. San Francisco, flowers in your hair.
Yeah.
The place to be in the 60s hippie movement.
Yes.
In fact, would say the 1963 was just the dawn before the hippie culture was rising. Mm-hmm. So basically, she was there at the birthplace of the hippie movement.
Just the counterculture in general in the 60s, the mid to late 60s, like San Francisco was the place to be if you weren't a quote-unquote square.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
She finds odd jobs here and there, but she is really trying to make a go of it with her music. She starts playing her guitar at coffee shops, bars, street corners, wherever she could. She'd, like, put out her guitar case and people would, like, throw tips in there.
Love it. Like, she's looking like a hobo. I can see it. I love it.
And she's kind of she's trying, like, she would teeter back and forth between the blues and the folk music. Because folk music was so big in 63. I mean, that's the height of Dylan, Dylan, Joe Baez and stuff. So she's kind of, like, leaning into that because that's popular, but she is also doing some singing the blues.
Unfortunately, yeah. Even back in her Austin days, Janis had gained a reputation as being a little bit of a lush, little overindulging.
Overindulging in what?
Whatever she could.
Yes. Overindulging in what? Yes. All of it.
Smoking weed, doing the most with alcohol, doing the most with sexy things. If anyone was drinking, everyone was drinking. And she was drinking, and she was going to drink the most. And
it was almost like a competition in her head, I think.
She's one of those. It's like if everybody's hooking up at the party. She's going to hook up with everyone the most. And speaking of hooking up, college is when Janis realized that she might be a little bit bisexual, which...
I'm bisexual.
Well, love this for her, which was way too progressive, even for Austin back then.
Right, but she's not in Austin anymore.
She's not in Kansas anymore.
She's not... Toto, we're not in Texas anymore. She is with the hippies and the artists in California, and she has taken that from college of like, I have to be the hardest partier. But now that she's in California, the stakes are higher. The partying's harder because there's like, it's not just weed and alcohol and sex. There's LSD, there's heroin, speed. And Janis, she's kept that mentality of I always have to be the one doing the most. At my dad's funeral, somebody told me a similar story about my dad, so I was thinking about that when researching this. Also, I was
my
like...
dad's Janis Joplin.
My dad's Janis Joplin. No, at my dad's funeral, the guy that was telling me the story, I was also like, I wish he would quit talking about my dad doing coke at his funeral in front of everybody, but here we go. That, just some people... It is like a competition. Well, maybe I'm not the smartest or the whatever, but I can party harder than any of y'all. And it's just, I mean, addiction's a disease. We know this.
Yes.
And you see
there's a psychological thing going on there, though, right? Like, will you accept me because I'm cool too, because I can party too, because I'm the big guy in charge too, or big gal.
Big gal on campus, yeah.
It's like I'm one of you because I'm also doing the same drugs as you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't you love me?
And it became a problem, which... Spoiler alert, if anybody doesn't know how Janis Joplin died, spoiler alert. So Janis is growing this reputation as a hard partier, and her reputation almost fueled her music career because people are hearing about this tiny little girl from Texas who could drink you under the table, would challenge you to fight, and then sleep with your girlfriend. Yeah. All of this, and she also sings the blues like nobody has business to be singing the blues. Like, how is that voice coming out of this teeny tiny little woman?
Side note, teeny tiny little woman was only 88 pounds.
She wasn't spending any of that money she was making on food. It was all drugs and rent, and food was low on the priority list. 88 pounds. She was like 5'5". That is...
teensy
unhealthy.
So,
she was not doing well.
Janis's party hard persona was taking its toll on her, and her friends started to worry that she had a problem with addiction. Maybe. But her friends threw her a party, and they called it a bus fare party.
Like, we're throwing you one last party, people are gonna donate some money, and then you gotta get the fuck out of here. You gotta
Well, I mean, it's like a, hey girl, if you keep this up you're gonna die, so we're throwing this big party, and the people that are attending are gonna give you money so that you can go back to Texas and get clean, because we're pretty sure if you stay here in California you're gonna OD.
You're gonna die. And one of those friends was this guy named Peter. And I wish we knew more about Peter. He was in love with Janis, and we think Janis she at least liked him. We think she was in love with him back. And Peter was he just finished school for computer programming.
Year?
1963.
What?
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
So the plan was that Peter was going to go with her back to Texas and get her settled back at her parents' house. And then he was going to New York. I think he had a job with IBM. Again, I don't know what IBM did in the 60s. And Janis was going to get clean while he got settled. And then they were going to get engaged. She was going to move to New York and pursue music there. And they were going to get married. And can you imagine how different her life would be if they would have gone? I've just been a kept woman. Programmers in the 60s, that was so cutting edge. I'm sure he made good money, She could have still pursued music just in New York instead. But yeah,
that's what happened.
And that's the end of the episode. That's what happened with Janis Joplin.
Goodbye.
Bye.
She went to New York and married a computer programmer. This was actually really good for her. She cleaned up. She started to take her music more seriously, learned how to read music, and take voice lessons.
The alternative timeline of what would have been if she would have just gone to New York and, But so let's mull that over. We're going to take a quick break. Y'all can hear a word from our sponsors, and we will be right back. It might still feel like summer here in Texas, but before we know it, fall is going to be here in full swing. And if you are already living somewhere where you can fall in love with fall fashion, you know I love Quince. Think 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters starting at just $50. Pair that with some of their perfectly tailored denim or maybe even one of their silk skirts at prices that honestly feel so good. Right now, I am obsessed with looking at all of their autumn picks. They all look designer level, but that price tag, a fraction of what you'd expect to spend somewhere else, but the quality is just as good, if not better. I've been reaching for my Quince crew necks non-stop, whether I'm recording, running errands, or just cozying up with a cocktail and a history book at the end of the day. It's truly become a staple in my closet. Here's the best part. Quince partners directly with ethical, top-tier factories and cuts out the middlemen to deliver luxury quality pieces at half of the price of similar brands. So keep it classic and cozy this fall with long-lasting staples from Quince. Go to quince.com/queenspod for free shipping on your order and 365 days returns. That's QUINCE.com/queenspod. Free shipping and 365 days returns. Quince.com/queenspod. Cheers!
You know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans? Getting burned by your old wireless bill.
Unless we're talking sunscreen, I am not here for the burns.
I know. I mean, I want barbecues, beach trips, 3-day weekend binges of historical dramas. I do not want my phone bill giving me Tudor-level drama. That's why I switched to Mint Mobile.
Yeah, with Mint, you get the same coverage and speed you're used to on the nation's largest 5G network, but for way less money.
Way less. And right now, they've got this wild deal. 3 months of unlimited premium wireless for just $15 a month.
$15. That's like 2 whole tacos. Maybe 3 if it's happy hour. I'll say bye-bye to those jaw-dropping bills and surprise charges. Mint gives you unlimited talk, text, and high-speed data.
And the best part, you don't need to break up with your phone. You can keep your phone, your number, even your contacts. It's like a wireless glow-up without the drama.
I've been saving so much since I switched. I feel like I unlocked a cheat code for adulthood.
Same! And the coverage is great, the price is better, my old provider can keep their overages.
So this summer, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/queens.
That's mintmobile.com/queens.
Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 a month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Tax and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. We are back, and over the next year, Janis went back to school for anthropology and decided she was going to be a social worker, which totes can see. She even started going to therapy to work on unpacking all of the shit she's been going through. She would bring her guitar with her, and her therapist told her, look, I think there has to be a way you can make, your love of music work for you without hitting the drugs so hard.
I'm actually really impressed that in Southeast Texas in the early 60s, I didn't know there was therapy. Yeah, I didn't know. And a therapist who was also like, yeah, bring your guitar. I think that's really progressive, and I'm really happy to learn that existed.
That my hometown is not a complete piece of trash.
Janis really tried to stay clean and sober and do things which she thought was like the right way. So she would go to school in the week, borrow her dad's truck, drive up to Austin on a Saturday, play a gig, drive home from Austin that night. And that's like a 4-hour drive. But she was like, if I stay, I'm going to end up at a party, just going straight home. And this worked. She was making it work. And then California keeps calling her.
If you are going to San Francisco,
don't do do heroin while you're there.
So this guy that she had known back in California was working with this band called Big Brother.
Well, Big Brother and the holding company.
And they were looking for a new singer. So they were looking for something a little different that would set them apart from every other band. And this one guy named Chet Helms was like, huh, I know exactly what y'all need. Y'all need this woman named Janis Joplin. She's 23 years old. She's in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. And this little girl can sing the blues like nobody's business. She'll make you stand out.
Right. So Chet finds out the next time Janis is playing a show in Austin, and he drives out there to convince her to come back to California. Janis has her reservations. She's like, dude, it almost killed me last time. But Chet is like, I'm going to take care of you. Like, you're going to move to San Francisco. You're going to move in with me, and I'm not going to let people come around that are doing drugs. It'll be like a sober house. So that was his promise.
Now put yourself in Janis's shoes, because we know since she was a little girl, she needs a little bit of attention. She wants to be wanted. And this man just drove across the country to convince her to come sing in a band. The band wants her. She's something special.
How can she say no to that? So she drives her dad's truck to Port Arthur with Chet following her, and they go inside and tell her parents that she's decided to move back to Austin right now, going back with Chet. Peace, gets in his car, and then only after she makes it to San Francisco does she call them and be like, sorry I had to lie to y'all, but I'm actually moved back to San Francisco. But you don't have to worry about me. I'm gonna do it right this time.
We don't know how her parents took it, but we can speculate. I'd be big mad.
I'd be pissed
Big
off. I mean, I
pissed.
know she's an adult and she can do what she wants.
But she has a problem.
And her parents, could you imagine being a parent and seeing your daughter come back all strung out?
Obviously, something is not right about the situation, and you need to be removed from it. But
what can they do? She's an adult.
She keeps
She's
going.
An adult.
Yeah.
They can't make her come back.
And it's June 1966 in San Francisco.
All right, Nathan. All right.
Okay, I will stop. If you're into counterculture, this is the center of your universe. And Janis auditions for this band, Big Brother and the Holding Company, who were really well established in San Francisco at the time. They were working musicians. They were the house band for a popular nightclub, and they had a lot of studio gigs. And honestly, at first, they weren't really blown away by Janis. They were a rock band, and they could tell Janis is, used to smaller folk bands, singing the blues, playing by herself with the guitar.
Yeah, but they hired her because, it is going to put us apart from other people. And I think they saw that, she's probably nervous. Like, once she comes into her own, it's going to be fine. But that Chet guy was right. Yeah, having a loud Texan woman as their front man did set them apart from other bands that they were competing with. So
it's like Queen's podcast.
Yes.
A loud Texas woman as the frontman.
Hello. So people were coming to see them. It was getting the word out. And after a while, they were right. Janis found her footing. She found her place in the band. And she started to develop this very extreme stage presence. I mean, if anybody's ever seen a clip of Janis Joplin performing, like when she's in her element, her stage presence is like a wha-bam,
Wha-bam.
So let's switch gears a little bit and introduce a new character. In a lot of Janis Joplin stories, this person is the villain. She's painted as the bad guy, and her name is Peggy. So Peggy was dating the drummer from Big Brother and the Holding Company. And they were like dating off and on. And she owned this really, really popular vintage shop in Haight-Ashbury, which is like the part of San Francisco. And Peggy and Janis just got on like a house on fire. Like, as soon as they started hanging out, they just really hit it off. Rock and roll is an absolute sausage fest. So she was happy that there was like another woman around that wasn't just a groupie. Like, this woman also is like established with her store and everything. She would bring Janis clothes from her shop and help her dress, like her signature style, and try to make her more hip and happening. They just really clicked,
And they were besties for the rest of Janis's life, but Janis and Peggy also were kind of having a bad streak with each other as well.
They had a very on again, off again kind of toxic relationship.
Yeah, and by that we mean they were both bisexual and they both hooked up and there was a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
But then one would start to catch feelings for the other and then they would have some falling out and then they would miss each other as friends. And oh my God, it was just a big lesbian jealous.
Nathan's just covering his face.
Yes.
But that doesn't explain why Peggy is sometimes considered the villain in this story, because Peggy is often blamed for getting Janis back into using drugs again, which Janis did, and hard. And she started using like she needed to make up for lost time.
It's so sad because at first Janis was doing so good. You know, her bandmates would even be like, don't let Janis catch you using because she's gonna
cause a fucking scene.
Yeah, and she did several times. It was a hard and fast rule: don't use around Janis because she's gonna scream and curse and fly off the fucking handle because she's got a Cancer moon and she's got big fucking feelings.
But it does seem like when she started to be attached at the hip with Peggy, that is when she started using again. I'm hesitant to lay all the blame on Peggy. I don't think she was a good influence, but Janis is a damn adult. So, like, I don't agree with blaming anybody except for Janis for it, you know? And I'm not saying Peggy was a good influence on her at all, but yeah, she's a grown woman.
Yeah. And random fucking side note. Peggy was friends with Lee Harvey Oswald in high school, and during the hippie movement convinced Levi's Jean Company to make flared-legged jeans exclusively to sell at her store. And 2 years before Levi's started making the bell-bottom jeans. This sounds like a trendsetter, right?
A lot of people, like when you Google Peggy, it's mainly people mad at her. But like this bitch had a real interesting life. Like what the hell?
Yeah, she's not doing so bad herself.
So anyway, Janis is using again. And then there does seem to be some correlation between her drug use and a sudden boost of confidence on stage. So I'm certain she could have achieved that without drug use. But I think she's like thinking, oh, this helps me perform.
Let's fast forward. It's about a year later, 1967, and Big Brother and the Holding Company is invited to perform at a show called the Monterey Pop Festival.
Nathan, have you ever heard of the Monterey Pop Festival before?
I haven't.
For anyone that doesn't know, the Monterey Pop Festival is, like, in the classic rock genre, like, a big fucking deal. Because a lot of people really seemed that would go on to be, like, fucking legends in music kind of got noticed at the Monterey Pop Festival.
Like who?
So it's a 3-day music festival in 1967 that is widely credited for bringing these artists from obscurity to the limelight. Jimi Hendrix, Otis Redding, The Who,
okay,
and Janis Joplin.
I would have never figured that she would show up here.
The Doors also played at Monterey Pop Fest, though they were kind of more established at this point already. You had a lot of members of the 27 Club in one spot, huh?
Oh, yeah. And if you don't know what the 27 Club is, there's a Patreon episode coming out soon.
Yeah.
This show was a massive hit. And we're going to link it in the show notes to a YouTube video of one of the songs they performed. It's one of my faves, Ball and Chain, and it's a cover of a Big Mama Thornton song, and Janis is in her fucking element.
And after this, things move fast. And so, like, we're actually going to have to do some skimming because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about record deals and record companies. But trying to capitalize on their big hit performance at the Monterey Pop Festival, the record company is like, let's get you into the studio. And they put out 2 albums, like, bam, bam, super, super fast.
But the recording companies want to style them as Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company, which, how do we think the guys in the band felt about that?
Oh, I feel like musicians especially are real cool with, sitting on the sideline.
Sorry, nope, they're not.
Don't go with the flow. No, it caused some drama, yeah. I mean, how would you feel? I mean, if somebody was like, oh, we want to style Queen's podcast as Nathan Foster in Queen's podcast, I'd be a little annoyed.
Yeah, you'd be like, what the
fuck?
Hold on. Well, not even that, but like if we brought in another person
that hadn't been there since the beginning, be like, yeah.
Yeah, and their egos are hurt, but the record companies are like, okay, but what if we give you more money? Will that make you shut the fuck up?
Funny that, yeah. Now, their first album, simply titled Big Brother and the Holding Company, it did well. But their second album, Cheap Thrills, is like is the one that you know a bunch of songs from and like really, really did well. Cheap Thrills was on the Billboard charts was a number 1 on the Billboard charts for 8 weeks.
Whoa.
So that is fucking huge. Yeah.
And if you know any Big Brother and Janis songs, the one you're probably most familiar with is Piece of My Heart.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby.
Just all of a sudden. And also their cover of Summertime is on Cheap Thrills, which, oh God, I love that. It's so haunting. I fucking love it.
She is such a brilliant artist. And after this album, Janis was on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. And the headline reads...
I died when I read this. I thought that was so funny.
Janis Joplin, the Judy Garland of rock?
Which is actually, yes. They both had really sad lives and died young of addiction, so...
Maybe so. I mean, that's where we'll leave it for this next break.
Yeah. We're going to mull over the Judy Garland of rock, and you can hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back, bitches. And we're back. And Janis has made it. She is on top. She is a bona fide rock star now. And like many rock stars that feel like their band is holding them back, she decides to go solo.
Now, if you...
Shaq here, spinning fast-acting pain relief with Icy Hot. Ice works fast, heat makes it last. Icy Hot, you're so back.
It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask second grade teacher Mr. Torres.
Put me and just one Clorox wipe on a team? We can take on crayon smudges, sticky fingerprints on every surface, sneezes on the door handle, juice box explosion by the sink, snack crumbs, and don't even get me started on the bathroom passes.
Clorox disinfecting wipes. Teacher's #1 wipe.
Think about it. Bathroom passes.
Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
Follow stories about rock stars at all. Sometimes when a band splits up, someone leaves the band and it can be a whole lot of drama. If this split was drama, we really don't know about it.
It seemed to be kind of chill. Everybody seemed to be fine with it.
We know that Janis, even after announcing that she was leaving, still did a tour with them. So doesn't seem like it was a bad breakup.
Yeah. But now Janis is a solo act, and she is ready to hit the stage. She forms this new band, and it has an organ player and a horn section. So she is trying to just really diversify. Her new sound gets mixed reviews. Rolling Stone hated it. The Washington Post loved it. And the public was buying the albums, and her shows were selling out. So,
well, that last part is the only thing that matters.
Yeah,
right?
really, truly.
It was the summer of 69. Sorry, we're gonna sing this entire fucking time. But in the summer of 69, Janis is approached by this guy who was trying to get his new music festival off the ground. A lot of people from the Monterey Festival had agreed to do it, and she was like, DK, maybe. Where's this all happening?
And they're like, oh, we have this plot of land out in the country, middle of nowhere, New York, this little town called Woodstock. And Janis is like, sure, whatever, sounds fun. Nathan, you weren't familiar with the Monterey Pop. Have you heard of the Woodstock Music Festival of the 1960s?
That one I'm familiar with. Hopefully so.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Janis was high at this meeting.
Probably.
But she seemed to have missed the memo about how massive this festival was going to be. Until the day of the show. Her and her band and her BFF, Bumpin' Butts Peggy, are flown in via helicopter, and she sees a sea of people, and she's like, holy fuck, I didn't know it was going to be this big.
Everyone in her group could feel the shift in Janis when she saw the crowd size at Woodstock. Because, like, she had told her band, like, oh yeah, we're just going to this gig in New York. None of them realized that there were going to be, some people think there was as many as, or 400,000 people at Woodstock.
I wouldn't be surprised. And you know what? Janis was nervous. And as soon as they landed, she was like, can we go now?
Can we go on now? Can we go on now? And Well, like we talked about this when Nathan and I attended this podcasting festival, podcast movement, and I was speaking one of the days, and I was like, I'm happy I'm speaking the first day. So, you're not thinking about it the whole time to be over. And so that's what she was like. She was like, can we just go now? And it was like, baby, you are the headliner. No, you go on like hours and hours from now.
Ugh, and you know what hippies aren't good at?
Stage managing?
Her set was delayed by hours and hours because none of the bands kept to their schedule. And then all the bands were like slowly setting shit up. And this whole time, Janis is like freaking the fuck out, drinking and probably shooting up some heroin to regulate her nerves.
Yeah. Janis was originally supposed to go on at 10 p.m., which is still, because they didn't get there until like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So that's still a long wait. But she ended up not going on until 2 a.m. So she was there for over 10 hours, just panicking and getting high.
I went and watched some of the recordings from her set and maybe don't fucking know what people on heroin look like. But my guess is she had some adrenaline that woke her the fuck up.
Yeah, because everybody was talking about how fucked up she was. And I mean, I thought she was just like a high or maybe a little bit drunk when I watched this video. So yeah, I also haven't knowingly hung out with people on heroin. So I maybe just also don't know.
Don't know what that looks like.
But I was like,
and
she
that's
seems
a
pretty
good
alert.
thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I take that as a compliment.
Yeah. What, that you're so good at hiding when you're on heroin? Like, what do you mean?
Oh God, no!
Or that
I'm gonna have a lot of concerned DMs. Nathan, are you okay?
Okay.
For real, like this performance, was it her best? No. Pete Townsend from The Who would say she was not at her best due to, the amount of booze and heroin she'd consumed. But even Janis on an off night was incredible.
Yes, and the fans loved it. The people loved it. It was a massive hit. And that's the end of the story. All right, bye.
Sadly, the rest of the story is just sad.
Just short and sad, yeah. So Janis's drug use after this was out of control. She was spending about $200 a day on heroin.
That's a lot.
Which in today's money is like $1,600.
Holy shit.
On heroin. And so she also became known for always having her signature bottle of Southern Comfort with her.
We have the drink that we made.
I think I read a story that like Jim Morrison was being a creep because Jim Morrison from The Doors being a creep was just kind of his thing. And just being a creep to women, and she just smacked him upside the head with her bottle of Southern Comfort.
Yes.
We love to see it.
Yes, a sassy Southern woman.
A lot of people thought walking around with the bottle of Southern Comfort was just kind of like a shtick, like, oh, she's surely not actually drinking like 6 bottles of that a day or whatever, but nope, it was
that whole bottle was gone by lunchtime.
Yeah.
And the next year is a lot of the same. Janis goes on tour. Her band and her manager try to keep her clean. Works for a couple of weeks, and then she goes out to a party, gets fucked up, and then the cycle starts all over again.
Right. But here's the kicker. She's a huge star now, and she's getting invited to more and more parties. And when she shows up, because she's like this guest of honor, the bar is just stocked with Southern Comfort. The heroin is flowing. I don't know what heroin does. It's just, but no, because they know she's coming, they're stocking up on what she's famous for liking. These people want me here. These people are going, it would be rude for me not to do this.
And if Oprah showed up and was like, and you get heroin, and you get heroin.
And you can't say no to Oprah's heroin, Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna skim because we could do a whole episode just with some of the outbursts that Janis had in public and in private while she was deep, dark in addiction land.
One thing, I didn't put it in here, she got fined like $200 or something because at a concert she thought the cops were bothering some of her listeners, some of like her fans, and she kind of went off on a tirade of being like, pigs, fuck off.
I could see it.
She got fined $200, which was a small fine, and she was just like, fuck it, I'd do it again.
Well, she spent that amount of money on heroin every day.
Yeah.
It's early 1970, and Janis is exhausted.
The last 2 years have been nothing but, what's the Lady Gaga thing? Like, bus, a plane, a club, no sleep. No, that's just all she's been doing for the last 2 or 3 years. That takes a toll on someone.
Is Lady Gaga Janis Joplin reincarnated? Discuss.
I've never seen them in the same room together.
So she and her friend, she's taking a break, and she and her friend go out and get the fuck out of California and head to Brazil.
It's just been go, go, go for the last 2 years. Her and her friend go to Brazil, and there, Janis takes a break from drugs. She takes a break from performing. She gets kicked out of a fancy hotel for skinny dipping.
Yes.
Just having a time.
Sounds like something I would do.
Yes. She realized that she had been working her ass off. And when she wasn't surrounded by these bad influences, it wasn't hard to stay clean. And she did a phone interview with Rolling Stone. And she goes, I finally remembered I don't have to be on stage 12 months a year. I'm going into the jungle with a big bear of a beatnik named David.
Who the fuck is David?
And it's her little boyfriend that she got over in Brazil. He was this young American guy who was like backpacking across the world. And their paths crossed. He didn't know who the fuck she was. And he didn't really pay attention to the music scene in America, so he didn't know who she was. If you Google pictures of her at Carnival in Brazil with David, she looks so happy. She looks healthy. She just looks like a carefree. Because keep in mind, she's young. She looks like a carefree young woman. She's in
her 20s.
And it just looks so happy.
And it does seem like they did discuss keeping their relationship going when they both got back home, but I guess she was like telling him about her drug use and asked if he'd ever been interested in trying heroin. Okay, that's not a pickup line.
No.
And David's like, hey, I'm an open-minded guy.
Yeah.
Until he saw what she was like on ye old heroin. And then he was like, oh, you know what?
This ain't
Not for me. Sorry about it. That whole thing just freaked me the fuck out. Okay, bye. I'm calling it quits.
Can you blame him?
No, I can't blame him.
So now this trip that was supposed to be this amazing thing for both her physical and mental health has actually left her feeling brokenhearted and rejected. So she's like, fuck it. Let's go home. I got shit to do. I got songs to write. Let's get out of here. She's got a new record to make anyway. She's got a lot of fucking work to do. So bye-bye, Brazil. Time to get back to California. And the first thing she does when she gets back is she goes to Peggy's house, and they fall into that same...
Peggy.
Fucking
Why you gonna do me like that?
Yeah.
Janis's last album wasn't the massive critical success that she was looking for, so she's like, I need a clean slate. She hires a new band that she handpicks herself, and she starts writing music and collaborating with creatives that she's choosing, not just other bandmates, not the record label. This album is gonna be all Janis.
All Janis. She's like at the status now where she can do whatever the fuck she wants, and they're like, yes, ma'am. Do it, lady. And
do it, lady.
And it really does seem like she's starting a new chapter in her life, and she's really excited. She's really energized. She takes about 2 months to record this album, which is also, we didn't really go into it. The Big Brother and the holding companies, they would give them like 10 days to record their albums.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because they were like, we got to get these out fast while people are still interested in you. She takes 2 months to record the album. On the weekend, she's going Canada, New York, Chicago, like performing her new songs to try to really like play them out so that she can go back and tweak them. So, it's just like this creative process that she's never been given the luxury to do before. And everyone's noticing that she's not getting fucked up while she's recording, which is a big thing. She's still going home and doing it. Everyone's noticing that she's just got this different vibe, a different process. She seems proud. She seems energized. She's beaming. And she's just on her way to being like a new trajectory in her life.
And on October 1st, 1970, Janis goes into the recording studio to record the last track for her new upcoming album, labeled Pearl. Yeah. This entire process, everyone she'd worked with was like, whoa, Janis is like a whole new woman. And with no issue, she records her final song for the album called Mercedes-Benz.
When we opened, oh Lord, won't you buy me a night on the town? I love that song.
Me too.
On you, Lord, don't let me down. Oh, I love that song.
Janis leaves the studio, and literally the sound engineers were saying to each other after she left, oh my God, it was so awesome to work with Janis when she was not stumbling into the studio and how great she sounded. They were literally telling each other, if Janis keeps being clean while she's recording, she's going to be really successful.
But Janis never made it into the recording studio again. That weekend, Janis had invited this guy that I read that they were engaged. I don't know. I don't think it was that serious. But she invited this guy that she knew, come party with me up in LA. Peggy was supposed to come too. And the three of them, her boyfriend, and Peggy were just going to get a hotel room and just
have a threesome.
But both of them stood her up. No call, no show, no explanation, no apology. Just stood her up.
So Janis slips into a little bit of a pity party for herself. Mm-hmm. Oh, she's hurt. She's upset. So Janis instead goes to get drinks at the bar with her band. She's cracking jokes about how she'll find someone else to take home for that night.
Put on a brave face.
And she goes to the hotel lobby, buys a pack of cigarettes, and goes to her room, and then was never seen alive again.
Yeah. The next day, Janis didn't show up to the recording studio. Did you know the actor Chris Christopherson wrote the song Me and Bobby McGee?
I did not.
Yeah. And he didn't know Janis had done a cover of it. And so he was coming in the studio that day to listen to it. And she was going to play it for him and see if he would let her use it on the album. And when she just didn't show up, everybody was like, this is weird. This is not like her this time around. If this was a year ago. Yeah.
But she even shows up fucked up.
Yeah.
Usually, and she's not even showing up. That's a problem.
So they're like, damn, we were just saying how easy it was to work with Janis. Now where the fuck is she? Let's go to her hotel and wake her ass up and get her into the studio. But as you've probably figured out at this point, there was no waking her ass up.
Yeah. The news sent shockwaves to the music community, especially because Jimi Hendrix died not even a month before.
The age 27?
27 Club.
Into it over
Catch it on Patreon, yeah, but it's also drug related. Mm-hmm. It was the times.
Yeah. There were rumors that Janis had purposely overdosed after being stood up that weekend, but I don't think so. And also, a handful of people died of overdoses that same weekend from that same batch of heroin that she got. So it was I don't think it was on purpose, even if she was having a pity party, because she was on top of her game with her career. And I don't think
she wouldn't have done that. It turned out Janis had left a will, and what the fuck?
Did you have a will at 27? I have one now that I'm like married and own a house and stuff, but I wasn't thinking about making wills at 27.
Here, I'll leave you my bed frame.
Yeah.
Seriously, there's nothing there. But she did leave a will. She wanted to be cremated. She wanted to have her ashes scattered over the ocean, which, same girl. Mm-hmm. And then she left a chunk of money and wanted all of her friends to throw the most lavish and over-the-top party in her name, which, same girl.
16 days after her death, the album that she poured so much of herself into, Pearl, was released. And the album produced Janis's biggest commercial hit, Me and Bobby McGee, which, of course, Chris Christopherson allowed them to use.
Right.
And Pearl is still her best-selling album of her career. And that album cover, I feel like I've seen everywhere throughout my life.
It is quintessential.
The one where she's got the feathers. And
yes, anytime you think Janis Joplin, it's that photo that pops into your head, I feel like. And if we want to talk legacy, honey.
Right.
Seriously, only 27.
Only 27.
She had this legacy. Well, first, she proved that rock and roll didn't need to be a boys' club, and many female artists have cited her as an inspiration for their own careers.
Exactly.
In that short time, she revolutionized rock music, blazed a path for outsiders everywhere who refused to compromise their spirit. In her own defiant words, don't compromise yourself. You're all that you've got.
I love that. So that is the story of Janis Joplin. And that was our intro into our new season. So we hope y'all liked the story. Go listen to some Janis or some Big Brother the Holding Company.
And if you don't like Janis Joplin, go fuck yourself.
All right. Cheers, bitches.
Whether it's in Drive, Dropbox, Slack, or that folder called Ugh, Dropbox Dash finds it fast. Smart Search. Built for messy humans. Learn more at Dropbox.com/dash.